Dear friends, please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu 3 times. Venerable Sir, dear friends of the Dhamma, on behalf of all the monks who are residing here, I would like to warmly welcome all of you this morning. And I wish all of you, may you have courage, determination to understand the Dharma gradually, little by little, develop your mind and gain wisdom. I would like to introduce Venerable Bhante, who came here for our retreat. Surakulame Pemaratan, Dr. Surakulame Pemaratan Tero. And he graduated and also got his honor degree, Vihara University in Sri Lanka, and he worked there as a lecturer, and he came to this country for his postgraduate and also to get higher education. He studied in University of Pittsburgh, and now he worked there as a visiting lecturer. And he started a temple in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara. And this Bhante Pemaratana, he traveled country to country, preaching and teaching the teaching of the Buddha. So again, I would like to warmly welcome Reverend Sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation and coming here. I'm inviting you to start and conduct our program now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Most Honorable Bhante Dhammajyoti, for inviting me. I have a great pleasure and honor to be here with you all. And Bhante Dhammajyoti used to invite me to Boston Buddhist Vihara and also to New York Buddhist Vihara. But we could not travel during the COVID period. But as soon as we get some opportunity to travel, he invited me again, and I really appreciate his kindness towards me. When in my early days in the US, he helped me and he kind of invited me for these programs and gave me an opportunity to train myself, with particularly he would like me to do programs for children. So when he was taking care of Boston Buddhist Vihara, he always used to ask me to come and help him. So that gave me a good opportunity to get some training. So I really appreciate your kindness and thank you very much for inviting me again. So today we are going to spend together to do some kind of cultivation of our mind, and then we will make a joint effort to observe our own mind, and then gradually guide our mind to be a little bit sharper and also a little bit more compassionate. We all already have some level of compassion, we already have some level of clarity or discernment or wisdom, but we can still advance them, bring those compassion and wisdom to higher levels. So our initial goal is to actually find more techniques to calm our mind. So before we start, I would like all of you to observe the non-monastic 8 precepts. So Ajiva Attamaka Sila. And these 8 precepts is different from the 8 precepts that we observe on full moon days. These are the 8 precepts that we can actually follow every day, like the 5 precepts. It's just that we have additional precepts to speech. So since we are going to spend today in a retreat, it's really important that we manage our speech, because our speech can trigger so many thoughts and so many disturbing thoughts towards us. Therefore, it is important that we kind of restrain and manage our speech. And so we try to be more observant of our mind rather than try to express ourselves. We can express, we can speak whenever necessary, but we have enough time to speak on other days. And today our goal is to pay more attention inward and observe how our mind is reacting and having all these urges, and observing them and identifying what are wholesome tendencies and what are unwholesome tendencies, and then feed the wholesome one and drop the unwholesome one. So therefore, for such a thing, for us to turn our attention inward, we need to restrict something, some behavior and some particular speech. So therefore, Ajiva Attamaka Sila, the non-monastic 8 precepts, can help us to follow that discipline in our speech. Okay. So if we have, do you have the booklets? I can distribute these booklets. Please give one each. So let us observe these precepts, because moral conduct is the foundation for meditation. So without sila, it is difficult for us to engage in real cultivation of the mind. So we first make these vows, we first make these promises to ourselves that we are going to live by these moral principles. So turn to the first page, and we will first chant in Pali. So in order to observe the Ajiva Attamaka Sila, the 8 non-monastic precepts, please recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu micchācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Pisunāya vācāya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Parusāya vācāya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Samphappalāpā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Micchā ājīvā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddhiṃ ājīva attamaka sīlaṃ dhammaṃ sādhukaṃ surakkitaṃ kattvā appamādena sampādē tabbaṃ. Let us read the English translations of the precepts, the next page. Let us read together. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking life. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking what is not given. I undertake the training rule to abstain from sensual misconduct. I undertake the training rule to abstain from false speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from malicious speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from harsh speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from useless speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from wrong livelihood. So be aware of these precepts that we are going to live by throughout the day. So we can follow many precepts here because our environment is supporting to follow these precepts. The only difficult precept to follow would be to abstain from useless speech, because we tend to speak carelessly, and sometimes we need those small talks to build a friendship, to make a connection. Those things are important in other times, but particularly when we are in a retreat, we need to get the full benefit from it. Therefore, we try to be aware of the very urge to talk unnecessarily, and then because more you talk, and when you sit down for meditation, more thoughts for you to handle. The one simple thought can trigger so many other thoughts. When you sit down, it's too much for you to handle. So if you restrict, your speech only to speak when it is necessary, and it will be much easier for us to find a deeper inner peace in meditation. So just for today, so let us try to be that more observant of our own mind, our own urges, our own habitual tendencies arising, but remembering the precepts, and then try to live our life in accordance with these precepts until the evening, or maybe if you like, through the day. Okay, so with that we will do a chanting or recitation to the Buddha, and we will do a Pali chanting of veneration to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and then it is not here, but then I would like to chant in English. So, and would you like to have a chanting book? Give this one also. Do you want one also? Because later we will discuss these suttas. Okay, before we practice, we will pay our homage with gratitude to our Supreme Buddha, and also venerate the Dhamma and the Sangha. So please chant with me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Buddha. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjācarane sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Homage to the Dhamma. Sakkhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko pacchattam veditabbo vinyuhiti. Homage to the Sangha. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ojopatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samītipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yatidam chattari purisa yugani Atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Dakkiniyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyak ketang lokas sati. homage to the shrines. Vandami chetiyam sabbang sabbhatani supatittitam saririka dhatu mahabodhim buddha rupam sakalam sada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us read in English. Turn to the salutation of the triple gem in your chanting booklet, just after the precepts. Let us read together. The Buddha, absolutely pure, with ocean-like compassion, possessing the clear sight of wisdom, destroyer of worldly self-corruption, devotedly indeed that Buddha I revere, teaching of the Lord like a lamp, illuminating the path and its fruits, the deathless, that which is beyond the conditioned world, devotedly indeed that Dhamma I revere. The Sangha, the most fertile ground for cultivation, those who have realized peace, awakened after the accomplished one, noble and wise, all longings abandoned, devotedly indeed that Sangha I revere. This salutation should be made to that which is worthy. Through the power of such good action, may all my obstacles disappear. Having heard the teaching of the Lord, we know this. Birth is dukkha, aging is dukkha, and death is dukkha. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair are dukkha. Association with the dislike is dukkha. Separation from the light is dukkha. Not attaining one's wishes is dukkha. In brief, 5 grasping groups are dukkha. These are as follows: attachment to form, attachment to feeling, attachment to perception, attachment to mental formations, attachment to sense consciousness. For the complete understanding of this, the Blessed One, in his lifetime, frequently instructed his disciples in just this way. In addition, he further instructed, form is impermanent, feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, mental formations are impermanent, sense consciousness is impermanent. Form is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, mental formations are not self, sense consciousness is not self. All conditions are transient. There is no self in the created or the uncreated. All of us are bound by birth, aging, and death, by sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, bound by dukkha and obstructed by dukkha. Let us all aspire to complete freedom from suffering. The Blessed One, who long ago attained Parinibbana, is our best refuge. So too are the Dhamma and the Sangha. Attentively we follow the pathway of that Blessed One with all our mindfulness and strength. May the cultivation of this practice lead us to the end of every kind of suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Those newcomers, please grab a chanting booklet. 3 people. So, theme of our retreat today is to learning to calm the mind. And there are mainly two things that disturb our calmness. We have been pulled by one direction, and we have also been pushed by another direction. So we lost the calmness, the peace, the serenity in our mind due to two things. So what I mean by we have been pulled by what is surrounding us. So our sensory organs, our senses, are the means by which we experience the world, we live in the world. So they are very useful. But if we do not know how to use them, those sensory organs, these senses, can be the means by which we have been pulled to all kinds of directions. And so we lose the peace, the calmness in our mind due to our unrestrained or maybe undisciplined senses. What we see, smell, taste, all these things will drag us to all different directions. And we have been distracted, we have been bombarded with all these sensory stimulus, and that really disturbs the peace and calmness in the mind. So that is one. So we have been pulled to all kinds of directions based on what we see, hear, smell, taste, and feel. But then at the same time, there is also other aspect that will destroy the peace. That is more like inner aspect, which are the habitual tendencies in our mind, and there are 5 categories of these tendencies. We call them nivarana or hindrances. There are 5 hindrances. These are mainly habitual patterns in our mind. So let's say we come to a kind of protected environment like this, and we don't have many things to disturb us through our eye, nose, tongue, and ear. But then we sit down, but then that doesn't mean that we will experience calmness, because there are so many inner tendencies will come and will surface, and then those tendencies that we have inside of us will also disturb the peace and calmness in our mind. So, and our own habitual tendencies, our own preoccupations in our mind, and these things will continue to come, and then they will also disturb the peace and calmness in our mind. So it is challenging for us to experience any kind of calmness. But we can learn techniques. We can learn techniques to overcome these challenges. But why we need such a calmness? What is wrong with living with a distracted mind? What's wrong with that? Why we need a calmness? Many people live with a distracted mind, and what's wrong with that? What do you think?
It's a waste.
We cannot focus on focusing. We cannot focus on one thing to get success. We have distractions.
Okay, so I think 2 comments. One is when we live with a distracted mind, so it's a waste of mental energy or waste of time or
Waste of our consciousness.
okay, yeah. Okay, it's because we are distracted in so many directions, so many things, and we don't really. It's related to what she mentioned, that we will not be able to pay attention or maybe focus on what we are doing at any given point of time. So, from the Buddhist perspective, for the Buddha, and he was interested in teaching us to calm our mind. One thing is The distracted mind is a suffering mind, distracted mind is not a happy mind. So we lose the opportunity to experience deeper levels of happiness if we don't know how to calm the mind. As human beings, we are capable of experiencing deeper level of happiness, not only the ordinary normal happiness that we get when we enjoy some sensual pleasures. As human beings, we are capable of experiencing higher level of happiness and joy. So the distracted mind doesn't allow us to have that happiness. And the second issue is actually this distracted mind doesn't allow us to see the reality of our life. Distracted mind keeps us deluded with the real thing happening here. So reality can be just in front of us, but with a distracted mind, we will not be able to see it. So the calm mind is the best mind that we can utilize to have penetration, to have deeper realization of what is really happening in our mind, in our body. So the calmness facilitates discernment, wisdom, or insight, or vipassana, and so we can really come to realize what is going on. And then calmness also facilitates deeper levels of happiness. So that's what we are going to. That is why we should be interested in learning to calm the mind. So first, the morning session, we are going to learn one kind of challenges to calm our mind, which is the disturbances we get from our senses, and then we try to learn that, and then afternoon we can learn more techniques to deal with the inner urges. Okay, so in order for us to practice that, I would like to read the first sutta that we find in this book to help us to understand what we are going to do. I'm sorry. Okay, I think the printing. Actually, it starts in the page 5, but I think it's only the title, and we have to go to page 6. And did you get the page starting with the word suppose? The page is page 6. So this sutta, the discourse is called Chapana Sutta, which means discourse on 6 animals. So this will help us to understand how we live our life, and how we have been, how our senses governs our life. So can I have a volunteer to read this first paragraph? Okay.
Suppose that a man, wounded and festering, were to go into a swampy jungle. Its sharp blade grasses would pierce his feet, its thorns would scratch his festering sores. And so, from that cause, he would experience an even greater measure of pain and unhappiness. In the same way, there is the case where a certain monk, having gone to a village or to the wilderness, meets up with someone who upbraids him. This venerable one, acting in this way, Undertaking practices in this way is a thorn of impurity in this village. Knowing this person to be a thorn, one should understand restraint and lack of restraint.
So it shows that when one has a wound, and if you go to this swampy jungle with all kind of sharp bladed grasses, so even little thing can disturb, little thing can hurt this person, right? So and so usually if we do not have a kind of discipline or training of our senses, every little thing can be a disturbance to us. Everything can irritate us very easily. And such a life is not a happy life. Right? So we should develop some kind of resilience, some kind of guard in ourselves, that we can live our life and not being disturbed by so many things happening in our life. So, are you having issues of finding the page? Yeah. Okay, come here. I'll read this.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that I think when they printed it kind of changes the pages. I should have sent a PDF file. I sent. Okay, then we find the instruction from the Buddha how to what it means to be to have the lack of restraint. Can someone else help me read that part?
And what is the lack of restraint? There is a case where a monk, seeing a form with the eye, is obsessed with pleasing forms, is repelled by unpleasing forms, and remains with body mindfulness unestablished, with limited awareness. He does not discern as it actually is present the awareness release, the discernment release, where any evil, unskillful mental qualities that have arisen utterly cease without remainder.
Okay. So here would explain what is the lack of restraint. So our eye, when we encounter a pleasing object, something agreeable, something pleasant, and the usual way that we respond to such encounter is that we are obsessed by that pleasing form. That means that whenever we encounter a pleasant thing, we develop this need to want it more than what is there. Right? If you see a beautiful thing, and we can enjoy that beauty, but then you develop this need that I want it more, and you can hear. So in the same way, not only to the eye but also to the ear, nose, tongue. Maybe for example, you will taste a good food, good something, and other than really going through that pleasant experience, you develop this very need to wanting it more. Right? And then even after you eat it, you keep thinking about it. You keep thinking about it, finding it more and more and more, and now it has become a big issue for you, and you have been obsessed by that. So this is usual way many people live our lives. So that's one thing that can happen. As usually this is the way that we respond when we see a pleasant object. We are attracted to it. That attraction is okay, but then we can be obsessed by it. And then, but we will also encounter unpleasant objects. In that situation, we will be repelled by that unpleasant object. and we develop resistance or resentment towards that, and then we can, for example, we can hear an unpleasant sound, and that encounter is an unpleasant experience, but maybe it only lasts for a second or two, but then we can develop resentment towards that, and then we can be disturbed by it, maybe with the fear that it will come back again, or maybe with the blame that who made that sound. So even the sound is gone, but we can still maintain resentment, anger, and repulsion towards that. And that's how usually, we react to pleasant objects and unpleasant objects when we encounter them through our five senses. But importantly in this sutta, if we go to like hearing the sound with the ear, smelling an aroma with the nose, tasting a flavor with the tongue, touching a tactile sensation of the body. So with the body, when you feel something, it's also the same. And then importantly, it also goes to the sixth sense, which is the mind. Cognizing an idea with the intellect, is obsessed with the pleasing ideas, is repelled by unpleasant ideas. So it's not only about encountering a visual object or a sound or a taste, but also occurrence of a thought. We can have a pleasant memory occurring in us, we can have an unpleasant memory occurring in us. So in those cases also, just like we reacted to pleasant objects, we are also reacting to our memory, our ideas also in the same way. We can be obsessed by a pleasant memory, or we can be repelled or develop repulsion towards the unpleasant memory. So these things can happen. And so this is like a normal way that people live. But we need to distinguish two things here. One is to encountering the pleasantness of the object, and also witnessing the unpleasantness of the object is one thing. But then developing attraction and being obsessed by the pleasant object, and then develop more kind of a repulsion towards the unpleasant object is different. So because in certain objects can be pleasing, certain objects can be unpleasing. So if we can just move through that, we should be okay. But if we continue to like wishing more of the pleasant things, and then developing more repulsion and anger about the unpleasant thing, that is where we are being pulled to all kind of different directions by our senses. And then here actually Buddha gave a very important simile. That is really important, and I'd like to have another volunteer to read that part. Anyone else? Okay, starting from just as if. Yeah.
Just as if a person catching 6 animals of different ranges, of different habitats, were to bind them to a strong rope. Catching a snake, he would bind it with a strong rope. Catching a crocodile, a bird, a dog, a hyena, a monkey, he would bind it with a strong rope. Binding them all with a strong rope and tying the knot in the middle, he would set chains to them.
Thank you. So this is a very, very powerful image that the Buddha is giving here. Catching 6 animals and binding them with a strong rope. And not only binding them actually, those ropes are also put together and tying a knot of these 6 ropes. So can you imagine? No. So who are the 6 animals? A crocodile, a snake, a crocodile, a bird, a dog, a hyena, and a monkey. So imagine this situation. All these animals are tied into a rope. All these 6 ropes are knit into tied into a knot. And right in the middle there's a big knot. All the 6 ropes are tied into 6 different animals. Yeah. Can you come to the next paragraph also?
Then those 6 animals, or different ranges, or different habitats, would each pull towards its own range and habitat. The snake would pull, thinking, I'll go into the anthill. The crocodile would pull, thinking, I'll go into the water. The bird would pull, thinking, I'll fly into the air. The dog would pull, thinking, I'll go to the village. The hyena would pull, thinking, I'll go into the charnel ground. The monkey would pull, thinking, I'll go into the forest. And when these 6 animals become internally exhausted, they would submit, they would surrender, they would come under the sway of whichever among was the strongest. In the same way, when a monk whose mindfulness immersed in the body is undeveloped and unpursued, the eye pulls towards pleasing forms, while unpleasing forms are repellent. The ear pulls towards pleasing sounds. The nose pulls towards pleasing aromas. The tongue pulls toward pleasing flavors. The body pulls towards pleasing tactile sensation. The intellect pulls towards pleasing ideas, while unpleasing ideas are repellent. This monk is lack of restraint.
Okay. Now you got the idea, right? Why Buddha talked about these 6 animals. When the 6 animals are tied into one knot, what's going to happen? These 6 animals has 6 different favorite places that they like to go, and each one will, drag the whole knot, the rest of the animals in that direction. And whoever gets stronger will drag the whole set of animals in that direction. But soon after, another animal will become stronger and then pull all the 6 animals to that direction. Now after a while, another one will become more stronger, and then he will pull everyone to that direction. So you can imagine what kind of chaotic situation they are. And then those, the whole 6 animals and the knot will be dragged to this direction, that direction, this direction. By the end of the day, they have traveled so much, but haven't made any journey, because this, they are pulling to all different directions based on whichever animal is getting stronger. So it's a very powerful image that Buddha is giving us to understand what is really happening in our own life. He's saying that our 6 senses, like 5 senses plus the mind, these 6 senses are just like this, and we are being pulled by our eye for a while. We'll be going to that direction and we'll be paying attention to that, and then soon after we will hear a sound, and then we drop that visual form, then we go to the sound, and then suddenly we will feel something and we drop that and we go after that, and we will remember something suddenly and we drop everything and we go after that, and we will smell something, and then we drop it and we go after that, and this continues, and we have been pulled to all kind of different directions, and we kind of, at the end of the day, we feel exhausted, but we haven't done anything fruitful. So just like, this, what is really happening to these, 6 animals and this knot right in the middle. So this is the kind of life that, many, living beings are living. And so for the Buddha, with his wisdom mind, he saw that this is really happening to all living beings. And they feel tired, they feel exhausted. So I think now we get the idea what you say, the waste of the time. So we can see all their energy is wasted because they haven't made any journey to any direction. So they are simply pulled to all different directions. And then so what we can do with this? So then here the Buddha give a solution how we can transcend this, how we can overcome this issue that we are all going through. And I will read that part. And what is restraint? There is the case where a monk, seeing a form with the eye, is not obsessed with pleasing forms, is not repelled by unpleasing forms, and remains with body mindfulness established, with immeasurable awareness. He discerns as it actually is present, the awareness release, the discernment release, where all evil, unskillful mental qualities that have arisen utterly cease without remainder. Okay, so then Buddha explained how we can restrain these senses. It's actually, you develop this ability to stay unobsessed even in the presence of pleasing objects, and also you train yourself not to be repelled by unpleasing objects. But how you can do that? How you can do that? How you can not being pulled to the direction when you see a beautiful thing, when you smell like very nice thing, when you taste a good food, when you hear a good music, how you stay without being driven to that direction?
He said what's good is not good.
What is?
It's not good because it's really too good to choose.
So I mean, contemplating the benefits and
Yeah, if it smells good, it's not.
not good.
So that's a way of taking. I would take it because I wouldn't eat it. It's probably too fat, high cholesterol. That's all.
Oh, you mean with regard to food? Okay, yeah.
No, not attached
Yeah.
to the smell and taste.
So you develop you use your understanding to not to be fooled by the smell.
Not to be fooled by all this beauty, which is not really beautiful and turning
Yeah.
only on the outside.
So that's with regard to food. Okay, so let's say with regard to other things. I mean, so we can use this analysis, this kind of understanding, like stay calm, stay not being fooled by them. But here the Buddha is giving us another technique to do with that. It's called he remains with body awareness established. Okay, so the reason that we are being pulled by all these sensory objects is that we don't have an anchor. We don't have an anchor for our mind to settle down. Our mind is kind of open, it's free floating. So whatever, whenever an object appears and we are being dragged that direction. So because there's no place, there's no refuge, there's no resting place for our mind. So the restraint of the senses is that develop the body mindfulness, or in Pali we call kaya gata sati, or the mindfulness immersed in the body. So the awareness of the body, feeling the body, whatever the sensation we have in the body, is the way to stay balanced or stay anchored without being pulled to all different directions. And here the Buddha give another simile, with regard to these 6 animals. Buddha said that just as, so I'm going to the lower paragraph here. After hearing a sound, smelling, tasting, touching, cognizing, and then Buddha gave another simile. Just as if a person catching 6 animals of different ranges, of different habitats, were to bind them with a strong rope, catching a snake and then catching a crocodile, bird, dog, hyena, monkey, he would bind it with a strong rope, binding them all with a strong rope, and he would tether them to a strong post or stake. Okay, this is the difference here. Earlier, he put all these 6 ropes and create a knot and set it free. And then, the whole thing will be pulling and pushing all different directions. But he can also do, but he can take that whole knot and tie into a strong post. And now what's going to happen? Now the knot is not set free, but the knot is tied into a strong post. Then those 6 animals of different ranges, of different habitats, will each pull towards its own range and habitat. The snake would pull, thinking, I will go to anthill. The crocodile will pull, thinking, I will go to the water. The bird will pull, thinking, I will fly up in the air. The dog would pull, thinking, I will go into the village. The hyena would pull, thinking, I will go into the carnal ground. The monkey would pull, thinking, I will go into the forest. And then, when these 6 animals became internally exhausted, they would stand, sit, or lie down right there next to the post or stake. So what's going to happen? Once you tie that 6 ropes into a strong post, these animals will try to like go to their favorite places. But after a while, because they are tied into this post, they realize that they actually cannot go. So they will try for a while, and then eventually they will stand, they will sit, they will lie down. After a while, we will find that all these 6 animals is resting and lying down around that post. And Buddha said that then, in the same way, when a monk whose mindfulness immersed in the body is developed and pursued, the eye does not pull towards pleasing forms, and the unpleasant forms are not repellent. The ear does not pull towards pleasing sounds, the nose does not pull towards pleasing aromas, the tongue does not pull towards pleasing flavors, the body does not pull towards pleasing tactile sensations, the intellect does not pull towards pleasing ideas, and unpleasing ideas are not repellent. This monk is the restraint. Thus, you should train yourself. You will develop mindfulness immersed in the body. We will pursue it, hand it the reins, and take it as a basis. Give it a grounding. We will steady it, consolidate it, and set about it properly. This is how you should train yourself. So here Buddha is giving the awareness of the body, or mindfulness immersed in the body, as the strong post. And then that's where we can actually ground ourselves. We will be still encountering pleasant objects, unpleasant objects. We will notice, we will witness them. But as long as you maintain what's going on in the body and what is really happening in the body, as long as you maintain this awareness within this parameter of this body, you'll be able to move through all these pleasant things and unpleasant things without being repelled by them, without being obsessed by them. So that is the kind of pose that we want. Otherwise, we'll be dragged to all these different directions, and just like the cattle situation that we saw in those 6 animals. So one important technique to find calmness in the mind is to learn or train ourselves to be in our body, to develop our awareness of the body itself, to develop mindfulness that is immersed in the body. And we can observe the posture of the body. We can observe any kind of sensation that is available in the body, any subtle sensations. Any subtle sensations in the body that can help us to feel the body, presence of the body, outline of the body, is going to help us as a refuge, as a foundation, as a basis for us to stay in the present moment and stay calm and not being driven to all different directions. So therefore, the first practice we are going to do is actually to try to develop this ability to feel our body. And even right now you will feel your body. Usually we feel our body, or we even pay attention to our body whenever we have a pain in our body, or whenever we have some strong pleasure in our body. But other time we don't really pay attention. But all the time there are so many sensations available in our body. Even a simple sensation like when our body is touching the ground, when our body parts are touching each other, and when our clothes are touching our body. And this awareness of the very posture, am I standing, am I lying down, having this the idea of a basic posture or basic outline of the body. And this awareness, this grounding oneself in the body is the key for us to maintain the calmness in the mind. So it's a refuge. So we are going to learn that, okay, in the morning. So that will help us to kind of go beyond our senses and then find a place that is not being disturbed by our senses. Even though we will still hear sounds, and we will still hear things, smell things, but we will notice it. We will acknowledge them, but we can come back to the body. So remember, our body is like that post. So those 6 animals will try to go, and then they will ultimately lie down. So we can use our body as the post that we can always come back and rest. Okay. So right now the issue is that our awareness is not tuned enough to catch even subtle sensations of the body. Okay, so we are going to do some exercise, and then I'm going to guide you to go through your body and try to find even little details of the sensation that we can feel in our body and use those simple sensations. We are not looking for extraordinary sensations. We are looking for very ordinary, normal sensation of touch, some warmth, some like pressure, like press muscles, all these little very ordinary sensations. But they are so helpful for us to keep ourselves right in the present moment, in this reality. And whenever we have any other objects come into our range of our senses, we notice them, acknowledge them, but we are not being pulled by them. We can come back to the feeling of the body. And this ability of being in the body can help us a lot, not only in the meditation, but also in our daily life. Sometimes some memories can stay in our mind for many long hours, and giving us such sadness or frustration or anger. Sometimes certainly imagined situation, our projections, our imagination can also bring us so much emotional agitations and then pain, because we are lost in those things, because there's no place for our mind to kind of come and rest. So the awareness of the body is the place we can come back and rest. And breathing, awareness of the breathing is a part of this awareness of the body. But I think it can be more useful if we develop this ability to like feel our body, wherever, whichever parts of the body. We can also do a gradual body scan and try to purposely pay attention to each part of the body, and then have a general awareness of the very posture of the body, and then we just rest there. Okay, and then we can go out, we can pay attention to whatever we're hearing or smelling, and we can again come back. And how do I feel in my bottom? How do I feel in my back? Just pay attention to that can bring us to the present moment. So because so as long as we can maintain the awareness in the body, that is also the easiest way to come to the present moment, because body is in the present moment all the time. It is the mind that travels to all kind of different directions. Body is always here. If we learn the way to come to the body and feel the body, at the moment that we start to feel the body, and we realize that, okay, I'm here, I'm not there yet, whatever happened has happened, but I'm here. So we can use our body to come to the present moment. Okay. So let us start our practice. So I would like to start our practice with standing, and then we can sit down and do our practice together. Okay, so let us spread our feet a little bit apart. That will give you the ability to distribute your weight somewhat evenly to your 2 feet. You can relax your hands And usually we tend to lean into one foot more than the other, when we stand. But right now, let us try to kind of, distribute the weight of the body in 2 feet. Try to feel your feet and feel the weight of the body. Try to balance that weight. Maybe you can shift your body a little bit to both directions and find a nice balance spot that you feel the weight of the body in your both feet. Let us develop this body awareness, just simply bringing our attention to whatever sensations are available in our body. We can start with our feet and toes and closely watch how do you feel when your feet is touching the floor now. Feel your heels and feel the pressed muscles in your heels. You can gently move to the front part of the feet and feel the muscles in the front area. And we can also take a moment to feel our toes. Maybe you can feel few toes touching the ground now. Just acknowledge this sensation of the feet. At the same time, we will also develop a deep appreciation for these feet, for carrying the weight of our body. Our upper body has a lot of weight, but these small feet are able to carry and to balance the whole weight of the body. It is amazing how these small feet are able to carry the whole weight of the body and then balance it. You want to stand and you want to walk. So there was some deep appreciation of these feet for helping us to stand, helping us to stay balanced. With this awareness of the feet, let us now open our eyes and do some movements to create more sensation in the body. So that will help us to have more awareness of the body. We can open our eyes and we will move our hands along with our breath. Breathing in, raise your both hands to the front. Breathing out, let us spread our hands to the sides. Breathing in, let us raise our hands all the way up. Breathe out, let us slowly bring our hands down, gently bringing it all the way down. Let's do 2 more times. Breathing into the front, breathing out to the side, breathing in up, breathing out, gently bringing them down. One more time. Breathing into the front, paying attention to the palms and fingers and the arms. Breathe out to the sides. Feel the sensation of the palms and the tips of the fingers. Breathing in, up. Breathing out, let's gently bring them down, feeling all the sensation in the arms, in the palms and the fingers. Now relax your hands. Take a moment to go through your arms, through your palms and fingers, and catch whatever residual sensations you can still feel. Maybe more awareness in your palms, some tingling sensations, some pulsations in the arms, in the palms and fingers. Whatever subtle sensation available, just catch them, feel them, and be in your body. Nowhere else, but right here and now in your body. Let's do another movement to bend our spine. Try more awareness. This time we will raise your right hand. I will raise my left hand, but you can raise your right hand. Breathing in, raise your right hand all the way up. And breathe out, try to bend your body's opposite direction, which is to left. Release in there, feeling the stretch. Breathing in, come to the middle. Breathe out, let's go back again, giving a nice bend to the spine. Release in there, feeling the stretch. Breathing in to the middle. Breathing out, going back again. Release in there. Breathing into the middle. Breathing out, going back again. Breathing into the middle. And this time when you breathe out, we gently bring our hands down, feeling all the sensation in the arms and the rib areas. Just be aware of those sensations. Let's do the same for the other hand, to your left hand. I'll be raising the right hand, but you can raise your left hand. Breathing in, raise your left hand all the way up. Breathe out, bend your body's opposite direction again. Release in the air, giving a nice bend. Breathing into the middle. Breathing out, going back again. Releasing the air, feeling the stretch. Breathing into the middle. Breathing out, going back again, feeling the stretch. Breathing into the middle. And this time when you breathe out, we gently bring our hands down with full control, catching all the sensations available in our hands. And now take a moment to go through your body and catch some new sensations. Perhaps in your rib area, in your belly area, because you bend your body, or any other parts of the body. Just catch all these sensations and feel them and use them as an anchor to be in your body. Let's do one more movement. This time we want to bend our spine forward. Do it carefully. You can stay like that. You can see how we're doing. And this time we will gently try to bend all the way. Slowly take your time and slowly bend. And try to simply relax your hands and simply let them hang by themselves, having no grip over there. Nice bend. And let our whole body to rest. Relax your neck, just turn to different directions. Relax all this pressure around your neck. And let your hands also simply hang over there with no grip. And now we will do some movements. Breathing in, bring your palms somewhere close to your knee. And try to create a flat back. And breathing out, we go back all the way down, relax our hands and try to touch our toes, or at least near there. And breathing in, we bring our palms again to our knees and try to create a flat back. Breathing out, we relax and hang our body. Let's do a few more times. Breathing in, palm to the knee, flat back. Breathe out, relax, and go down. Breathing in, palm to the knees, stretch back. Breathe out, relax, go back again. One more time. Breathing in, breathe out, relax. Okay, now this time we are going to stand up very slowly. Take your time, slowly come up. Okay, straightening one vertebra at a time. Slowly come up. Tuck your chin. Let the whole body slowly come up. Observing all the sensations happening in your back area. And just straight your chin as the last thing. And try to come to a balanced posture. And now take a moment. Feel all the sensations arising in your body. Feel all the sensation in your whole body, in your back area, in your hands, in your chest, wherever they are occurring. Catch them all. And be in your body. Now, with this awareness of the body, we will slowly go to our cushions. Let us slowly move. We will slowly sit down and try to maintain this awareness of the body even when you bend your knees, even when you touch your cushion. With full mindfulness, let us slowly sit down. Adjust your body. Try to find a comfortable posture. And try to keep your upper body upright. And make sure that your chin is somewhat parallel to the earth. It's not bending, it's a little bit straight. And rest your palms on your lap. Let's now continue to feel our body. Take a moment to go around your body and identify the area that you feel your body most prominently. Just go around your body and find the part of your body that you feel the most right now. Where you feel the most in your body right now. Just go around and find that place. Doesn't matter wherever it is. Just go to that area where you feel your body the most prominent way. More touch sensations, more warmth. And try to keep exploring that area more and more. Try to feel more details of that area. closely explore more of that whole area. I'm going to ring this bell and do a chant to help you to stay in your body. Throughout the bell and the chant, continue to feel that area, continue to explore more sensations, more detailed sensation of that area. Throughout the bell and the chant, stay in your body. Continue to feel your body. Let us keep paying attention to different parts of the body, gradually enhancing our awareness of the body. Let us start with our lower legs. Try to pay close attention to your lower legs, where they touch now. Feel exactly which muscles are touching the ground, the cushion. Feel the skin, where you can have that touch sensation, those tactile sensations. And feel your knee area and observe how the knees are bent and how much clothes we can feel in our knee area. Let's now closer come to where our body meets the cushion. Let us feel the pressed muscles in our buttock area. Feel the weight of the body there. Feel exactly which muscles are pressing against the cushion now. Let us slowly move upward and pay attention to our back area. Explore your whole back area and see what sensations are there. How much clothes you can feel in your back area. You can feel your lower back and slowly moving into upper back. And feeling the shoulder blades. And then slowly moving to our shoulders. And let us slowly move to our arms. We will gradually travel through our arm all the way down. Let us do with our right arm, starting from the shoulder, slowly moving down to our arms and feeling whatever sensations there, and going to our elbow, and then from there slowly moving forward all the way to our palms and fingers. Let's do the same with our left arm, starting with our shoulder and slowly moving down to our elbow, and then from there slowly moving to our palms and fingers. And feel the fingers and the palms, where they touch now. Whatever the warmth or the cold feeling you can feel them, just catch them. Let us slowly now move to our belly area. Observe the whole belly area and see whether you can feel the subtle movement in the belly along with the breath. Notice it, feel it. Closely observe how your clothes are pressed by the belly when you are breathing in, and how the belly is shrinking when you are breathing out. Let's bring our attention up and feel the whole chest area. See how much we can feel in that area with your clothes. And see whether you can feel the subtle changes happening in the chest with the breath. Let's gently move into our face. Let's observe all the sensations available in the whole face, whole area in the face. Feeling whatever tingling sensations. Feeling the nostrils. Feeling the eyeballs. And then feeling the forehead. And then moving all the way to the top of the head. Now we have penetrated our awareness throughout the body. We have a general sense of the whole body, starting from our lower legs all the way up to the top of the head. Just maintain this awareness of the body, the basic outline of the body. This is the place to rest. Let us be within our body. We can shift our attention to different parts of the body from time to time, but we can remain within the body. This is a nice place to be. And this body has been helping us a lot to live this human life. All the organs that are working for us even right now inside this body have helped us a lot. All the parts of the body have been helping us to live this precious life with deep appreciation. We can be in our body, not having any other wantings or desires, simply being contented with this awareness of the body, with deep appreciation of the body. Just like a bird would rest in its nest, with the comfort and the warmth of the nest. Just simply rest in our body. Just maintaining this awareness of the body, simply resting there. With this awareness of the body, if you happen to feel your breath, then you can notice the breath. But you don't have to be on the breath all the time. You can simply keep moving within your body, or if you have more prominent sensation, you can rest there. You can watch your breath if the breath happens to surface. We have this awareness of the body, and right in the middle, we feel our breath. We just want to rest here. Just like those 6 animals rest around the post, we want to rest all of our senses, even the mind. Simply take a break from all continuous stimulations and excitements. We just need a break and just rest with the body. If you feel the breath, with the breath. For the next few minutes, let us stay with our body. I will do a chant to help you to stay with the body. Sukhi Gently come out of your meditation. Gently put your palms together and place them against your chest. Let us take a moment to feel grateful for this opportunity to have meditation in our life. Let us deeply feel grateful to all the great teachers, enlightened masters in the past, who passed this wisdom from generation to generation. Let us feel grateful to whoever helped our meditation practice, whoever organized and arranged and made everything possible for us to come here and meditate. Let us feel deeply grateful to all of them. Let us also feel grateful even to these non-living things which helped our practice, including this cushion, this bell, and these cooling machines, and the device that helped you to connect to this practice from home. With deep gratitude, let us say Sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Okay, how was your post? Are you able to feel your body more? Okay. The body is a field of sensations. There are so many sensations available in the whole body. We only pay attention to prominent sensations, either it's real pain or maybe, extremely pleasurable, but we ignore the other sensations. But in this practice, we can even try to catch all these sensations and use them as an anchor to be here and be stable and calm when many things are happening. Any challenges that you encounter? Was it super easy? And no challenges, no.
The mind goes away time to time. It's difficult to do back.
I think when Buddha talk about those 6 animals, the last one is a monkey. And when he also talks about 6 senses, the last one is the mind. So probably he was thinking about the mind in terms of a monkey. So we have this term monkey mind. Yes, and we will talk more on techniques. That will be the common challenge that we all have. So we use this body awareness as a kind of counter technique because the thoughts are like they're like virtual world. It's not real, right? So whatever we think doesn't mean that they're really happening now. So thoughts are really unreal. They're not really happening. Either we are thinking about something already happened, or maybe we are projecting or imagining a situation. So therefore, thoughts are not real, but they are very powerful. They are so alluring, so attractive. So what we try to do here is bring more attention to the body and try to be familiar with these sensations, and more awareness that we develop about this sensation, we can ground it right here and not letting it fly. So our purpose is try to tune our attention to catch all these details of the sensation of the body and use it to be here. But definitely, thoughts will come. And in meditation, we don't try to stop thoughts from occurring. Because it's a neural habit, so we have been thinking all the time, so it's a neural habit. So out of habit, different thoughts, memories will pop up. So we don't try to actually stop thoughts in meditation. But what we try to stop is actually, there are two things happening here. One is automatic occurrence of a thought or memory. That's automatic, that we cannot control. That is, we call it vipaka. It's a result of our previous, conditioning and habits. So the occurrence of thoughts is automatic. We have no control. But then we do something without our knowing. Once we have an occurrence of thought, and we pick it up, and then develop more thoughts on that. So in meditation, what we try to do is actually stop secondary thoughts. We don't try to stop the first thought. It's not something within our control. Those thoughts will occur automatically. Then, but what we want to stop is like developing secondary thoughts about whatever initial thought that come to us. That we need kind of engagement, some involvement, even some effort, and suddenly in your mind you are having that, suddenly a thought can occur to you, or where did I park my car? Okay. And that thought will occur to us automatic. And then you think about, oh, did I park at the right place? Should I move? And maybe after the break I will go and move there. And all kind of thinking. That's more engaged kind of thinking. That's the part that we want to stop. So it takes some training. We can let the thoughts to occur, but notice them, catch them, and even say like thoughts. We will learn more techniques in the afternoon, and then not develop secondary thoughts about them. Yes.
I feel you meditating and you have thoughts, then I'm not meditating. Thoughts are coming into my mind. I'm meditating and I have thoughts. It's not meditation. I feel that my meditation is being disturbed. You don't have thoughts when you meditate.
I think in meditation we will have thoughts, but we will select an object that we want to pay attention to. For example, when you do loving kindness meditation, we are full of thoughts. We purposely produce thoughts, but they are wholesome ones. So it's not always empty in the mind. It depends on what kind of meditation you want to do. So there are meditation that we do that involves contemplation or reflections or recollection. So in that case, we produce thoughts purposely, but wholesome ones, and we fill our mind with thoughts, but the good ones. And there's no space in the mind to have a negative thought, because the mind is full of positive, wholesome thoughts. That's one way. And when we do kind of body awareness or the breath meditation, and then our goal is not to produce thoughts, but to be with the experience occurring right here. Like really pay attention to the details of the sensations. So rather than developing any thought, we want to be with the experience. But then still thought will occur. If we are not an advanced practitioner. The difference is that like we observe these thoughts rather than following and developing and like fantasizing, and there'll be, we will be watching the breath, we'll be feeling the body, and that's where our main attention, and on the side there'll be thoughts popping up, and we simply watch them without catching them. So as long as we watch our thoughts, we are meditating. Yes.
So
sometimes
we don't want to become attached to them, which is kind of
notice
one of
it.
the learnings that we get from.
Yeah. And not attach any value to those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that we develop secondary thoughts is that we think that they are valuable, they are significant. Whatever issue the thought is bringing, we think that is valuable, because those thoughts can be about real issues in our life. So there can be real serious issues, but when you sit down for meditation, no thought is important. There's simply we don't. I mean, we can handle those things afterwards, but within the meditation context, no thought is important. We shouldn't give any value to them, and simply notice them as simply thoughts and thoughts. Okay, before so I would like to do another session before our Buddha Puja offering time. That is to learn about posture. Has anyone experienced some pain? Pain in the body? So yeah, so therefore it's really important to learn the comfortable posture that we can sit. It can be different from person to person, but I would like to teach you basic principles of the posture. Okay, so so sitting on the floor, sitting on the cushion is one option for meditation, but you can also sit in other places too. What is really important when it comes to meditation is not how you keep your legs. That's what we pay more attention. But actually what's really important is actually how you keep your upper body, particularly spine. That's the key. How you keep your spine is the key. And whatever the leg portion that supports that that alignment of the spine is we can follow. But main thing is to keep an upper body in a way that we actually maintain the natural shape of the spine. So I would like you to do some movements and try to find a kind of comfortable posture, and maybe we can try with different heights of the cushion. So the issue is actually, if you think about a spine, our spine has 3 curves. Right? You have done your anatomy, right? So we have 3 curves in our spine, right? Of course, these 3 curves develop, when we were in our mother's womb. Initially, we have 1 curve, right? In the curve in the middle, that's the curve we start with, just 1 curve, and then slowly, we develop other curves. So if you start from the below, so below, and if someone is sitting facing that direction, in the lower back we have curve inward, like your lumbar curve, right? Lumbar curve. And then after that curves, in the middle we have the opposite curve. That's the first curve that we develop. And then when you come to the top, again we have the other curve. So we have these 3 curves in our spine. And these curves are so important because of these curves that we can actually carry the weight of the body. It's physics actually. This spine is in this way to help us to carry the body. So if you maintain this natural shape of the spine, it's not really straightening the body. I mean, it's not making body straight. We can't make your spine straight. You can call it simply, keep a straight body. But what we really mean is not really keep your spine like a straight line. Actually, maintain these 3 curves, and if we can maintain these 3 curves, then that allow us to that will allow the weight of the body move through the spine and not through our muscles. And most of the time what happens is when you sit, not only in meditation but also in other times, so we have these 3 curves. We like to sit like this. This feels very comfortable, right? And I have just 1 curve, right? So we feel very comfortable in the beginning when I sit like this. But when I sit like this now, my spine is not ready to carry any weight. It cannot. So all the weight of my skull and hands and everything is carried by my muscles. Now all my muscles in the chest, in the back area, now tensed, because now they are carrying the weight. They are not built to carry the weight. And therefore, I cannot relax all these muscles. So I develop tense muscles, tension, tightness, and later all kind of different other issues. That you may have to go for massage, to even get rid of that, right? So, but if you remember to come back and create that 3 curves in your body, in your spine, so when I create this lumbar curve and upper curve, and then come to the shoulders and try to align my upper body in a nice place, then I can relax all my shoulders, all my muscles. So now my muscles do not have to carry the weight, my spine can carry the weight, so I can relax all the muscles, let them loosen, let them melt. In meditation, we want to loosen up all the muscles. Then only we can experience deeper level of samadhi and calmness. Without loosening the muscles, you can't experience samadhi. But in order to loosen the muscles, we have to find a way to carry this weight to the body through our spine. So that is why we need, we need that natural shape of the spine. So that's the key. And whatever leg position that support us to maintain the natural shape of the spine is the way we should keep our legs. So it could be whatever the way, there are many options that we can follow. So don't worry about the way you keep your legs. Pay attention to how you keep your upper body. So there are few other options that you can sit, not only the cross legs. I have found that sometime sitting, Can you help me to bring more cushions from there? Thank you. Sometimes for some people, maybe having a cushion like this, and then maybe keeping them in between their legs. Okay. Let me do this. I have to push this a little bit down. Okay, and then sitting like this. Can you see me? So this way actually helps you to maintain that 3 curves in the spine, natural shape of the spine. For some people, this may be a good posture to sit for meditation. So it automatically helps us to create the lumbar curve and the rest of the curves. So this is really good posture. And so when you sit like this, for some people, they may have issues with this ankle. If your muscles are not stretched, it will be painful. Maybe you can use some rolled towel, whatever, to support your knees. So this is one way. So I just want you to to know that there are many options that you can sit, and there are some benches also that will help you to sit like this. Like we have a bench right here, and then you can even use a simple cushion to sit like this. And if you use a chair to sit for meditation, and you can still maintain that natural shape of the spine, but you can sit right at the edge of the chair, not all the way back, right at the edge, and maybe like more to the front, and then maintain that natural shape. So if you want to sit cross-legged, and so we can use cushions with different heights. It's based on your body structure. You have to try with different cushions, different heights, which will work for you. It's always good that your buttock is little higher than your knees, and that will help you to find some stability, right? And even the ancient sages, they were meditating under trees, so they have roots around the trees. If they sit on the root, and their knees can go down. And even, we have that story that when Buddha wanted to meditate under that Bodhi tree, so one Brahmin came and offered him grasses, some grasses that he can use that height, with those grasses. So it's always good, you have some little bit height to your back, and then your knees will go down, and you can, keep the natural shape and then find some stability. So there are a few ways that you can keep your legs, and so what I'm using right now is called, quarter lotus. So one leg over here, and one leg over here, and remember that I'm not really crossing any leg, one or the other. This can create pain later, when you're crossing one or the other. So this way you tuck one foot inside, and you tuck the other foot outside, and they are like sitting like next to each other, but not crossing next to each other. So this you can try, but for this you need to stretch these muscles. If these muscles are not straight, it's difficult, for you to keep like this. So this is one way. In the beginning, you may have to do like this, and then eventually be able to, bring all the things down. And of course, the one other would be like half lotus, and you bring your one foot over here, and still your other knee is touching the ground. It's not necessary. Remember, don't worry about the legs. Of course. I think if you can sit full lotus, it's automatically it can bring the natural shape of your spine. Even you don't need a cushion. So you can automatically your upper body is straight in this way. But again, it's not about legs. It's about the upper body. So you can experiment. Do you want to try with different cushions and see how you can maintain that natural shape of the spine?
Can we take?
Yeah, maybe cushion from there. So, if someone want to be helped, do you want to come and sit here? Let's see. Do you think that this height will be good for you? Yeah. So even when you sit on a cushion, we try to sit on the front edge. Can you sit at the front edge? Maybe having a little bit height will help. I will put this two cushions. Okay, good. Okay, now so this is good, if you have learned to sit like this. But let me give you another option. Okay, for your legs. Okay, and so can you move this leg all the way up over there? Yeah. Okay, further down. Okay. Can you move this? Yes. The more we open our hips with the V shape, the more open it is, easier for us to stay balanced. And okay, this is here. Very good. So can you push this a little bit? Yes, very good. Now I'm going to hold this knee. Okay, can you bring the other part of the leg? Yes, bend it. Okay, okay. Can you bring it more? Okay. Can you push this more? Can you go down a little bit? Okay. Okay. But again, you have to come forward. Yeah, come forward. So now you can create the lumbar curve. Now the next issue is that whenever we create our lumbar curve, automatically we tighten our shoulders. So now you can see he has created a nice shape, but his shoulders are tight now, stiff. Okay. So don't lose this one, but you can drop this shoulder. Yes, very good. Dropped it. You maintain this curve, but you drop your shoulders to the side. You can open your chest, but you drop your shoulders to the sides. Okay. And then you can also do some little bit experiment, like moving a little bit back and moving a little bit to the front. And there's a sweet spot that you feel less weight of your body. It's a very delicate, gentle place. It will take some time for you to find that spot. You feel less weight of the body. It's actually the physics, like the weight of the body is finding the line of gravity. So you can do a little bit experiment and find a place that you feel less weight of the body. Okay, so your legs are not touching each other, so there's no way to have pain there. And the natural shape, and important is the chin. And you can have a little bit down chin like this. In the beginning, you will not notice any difference, but by the power of the gravity, your chin will go down, your body will go down like this, and you fall asleep, sleepy later. So the chin is very key. It's a very important thing to notice. The moment you see it's down, you know, oh, it's coming, you know, sleepiness is coming, you will straighten it, you know. So that's missing of the little thing can, you know, bring a lot of, you know, problems for meditation. Okay, so.
So chin is like good parallel to the best.
Yeah, like, you know, keep it straight a little bit, you know, parallel to that. So now I can actually draw a line of gravity over here, and exactly going with your sit bones. Yeah, and finding the sit bone is also important. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So sometimes having a cushion is important, but what's more important is the height. So sometimes even a hard one would be also okay. But you, of course, if for long meditation, it's important to have a soft one. But it's the height that gives you the balance. Any questions? Any help? Anyone need more help or more questions? How to adjust your posture?
Which is the best way to keep your palms?
Palms. The main thing is we need to relax them. We need to completely relax them, even like not to have any tightness, any grip in your palms. So I like to rest like, you know, what we see in the Buddhist statues. Or you can even rest like this. Right? And of course, you know, we have other forms of meditation that we use certain mudras. That's for some other purposes. So like, you know, that's maybe maintaining some mudras can give you more alertness. Like, let's say if you feel sleepy and you need more alertness, and maybe, you know, you try to use mudra, and the moment you lose the mudra, you know that you are going to sleep. Right? So maintaining. So, but if you really want to like go into deep calmness and, you know, samadhi, and you should have the you need like rest your palms and even fingers completely. So resting on the you know, lap will be nice.
What about the tongue?
Yes. Yeah. You can, you know, press your tongue against your palate and then drop it down. Yeah, drop it down. Yeah, and then, you know, touching the tongue, touching the upper palate with our tongue can help us not to have, you know, not to have too much of saliva to swallow. It can, you know, help in that way. In Zen meditation in Japan, you know, Zen meditation, they actually have a specific, you know, way that keep their hands, and they press their palm over here, and then they actually create a kind of ball. They touch their two thumbs, and then instead of dropping all the way down, actually they kind of, you know, keep a little bit up, and that is for them like maintain the awareness. You know, not going deep into, you know, calmness, because in Zen meditation they don't aim deeper calmness, and they may focus. They are focusing more on the awareness, and so therefore they lift their hand a little bit up, and then create this, touching these two thumbs together, and they consider this as an indicator, you know, whether they lose their concern and their focus or not. So it depends on, you know, let's say in the afternoon, if you tend to feel more sleepy, bring it up. And maybe later your mind is so active, so vibrant, you need calmness, you rest your palm. So it's kind of finding the balance.
You just suggested at my last retreat, if you took a pillow or something that just made to rest, to release the muscles.
Yes, yeah, that helped.
On the belly.
Yeah, like this, right? Yeah. But I think we try to, like, you know, try to train ourselves, you know, to relax without having much things, because, you know, otherwise we need to carry a whole thing, you know, for us to meditate. So, but it's something we need, you know, we cannot avoid, but we need to like train from the beginning to do it as simple as we can. Okay. Any other questions? Are you comfortable with your posture? And maybe afternoon we can try some, other methods, other questions. You don't have to stick into one posture. You can, try different methods too. Okay, it is time for Buddha Puja. Hopefully they will bring Buddha Puja here, right? Hopefully there will be lunch and Buddha Puja. Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you. So we will be studying more sutras, from this. So you can, keep. Maybe when you go for lunch, you can keep it.
Venerable monks and dear friends of the Dhamma, now it is time to offer Buddha Puja. The first portion, the food that you brought here with flowers, candlelights and incense sticks. Buddha is no more passed away more than 2,500 years ago. But it's still Buddhist and non-Buddhist people venerate and respect to the Buddha because of his good qualities. To become Buddhahood, Buddha practiced 10 perfections, millions of millions lifetime. After fulfilling those good qualities and also developing his wisdom mind up to the maximum level, he attained enlightenment and delivered the Dharma for the benefit of all living beings. So that's why even today people venerate and respect. So friends, all of you now, you are in a virtuous ground. Being on virtuous ground, when we perform any kind of activities, brings more and more merits. Merits mean wholesome thoughts. These wholesome thoughts will help us to live happily and peacefully in this life and also next. So think you are acquiring great deal of merits. We will wish by the power of merit thus we accrued, may all living beings, may all the deities, may all of your departed relatives receive these merits and we will transfer, and also we will wish, may all they attain ultimate peace, ultimate bliss of Nibbana. Having that aspiration, please join us to recite these stanzas. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu. Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati. Satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko paccattang veditabbo vinyuhiti. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Ujjupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Sāmīcipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Yadidang cattari purisa yugani. Atta purisa puggala. Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Ahuneyo pahuneyo. Dakhineyo anjali karaniyo. Anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati. Ghanesarappa dippena dipena tamadansina. Tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamudang. Gandha samphara yuktena sugandhina. Pujaye pujaniyantang pujavadana muttamang. Vanna gandha gunopetang netang kusuma sampathing. Pujayami munindassa siripada sarore. Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena ca hotu mokkhaṃ uppam milayati yathāi dhamme kāyo tathāyati vināsa bhāvaṃ ananta ඥāno vimalo dakkhineyo gunākaro patiganhātu bhagavā dakkhinodaka muttamaṃ adivāsetu bojanaṃ paritapitaṃ anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu muttamaṃ sugandhaṃ sītalaṃ kappaṃ pasanna maduraṃ subhaṃ pānīyametam bhagavā patiganhātu uttamaṃ vandāmi cētitam sabbhatānesu patiṭṭitaṃ sāririka dhātu mahābodhiṃ buddha rūpaṃ sakatāṃ sadā kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ accayaṃ kamame bhante bhuvi pañña tathāgata kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ accayaṃ kamame dhamma sambhittika kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ accayaṃ kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara sadhu 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 ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciram rakkhantu loka sāsanaṃ ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciram rakkhantu loka sāsanaṃ ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciram rakkhantu loka sāsanaṃ idammi ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo idammi ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo idammi ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo devo vassatu kālena sassa sampatti hotu ca pīto bhavatu loko ca rājā bhavatu dhammiko imina puñña kammena māmi bāla samāgamu sataṃ samāgamu hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā idammi puññaṃ āsavakkhaṃ vaham hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu sadhu sadhu sadhu. Dear friends, your schedule is as follow. Now it is 11:30. Now it is lunch time till 12 o'clock. 12 to 12:30 cleaning and break. 12:30 to 1:30 sutta discussion. Sutta means discourses delivered by the Buddha. Discussion. 1:30 to 2:15 walking meditation. 2:15 to 2:45 sitting meditation on breathing. 2:45 to 3 o'clock break and tea. 3 to 3:30 question and answers. 3:30 to 4 chanting and sharing merits. This is our schedule the rest of the day, and now it is time to go downstairs and you can have your lunch. There is 3 ways when we sitting or standing up or sleeping or walking, eating and listening and also talking. 6 ways we need to keep our mindfulness, awareness always. SMS we call. S means slowly, M means mindfully, and another is silently. Slowly, mindfully, silently. These 6 ways, there are 6 ways: sitting and standing, walking or sleeping, listening, talking. Follow silent, mindfulness or mindfully and slowly. Thank you. Now it is time. You can go downstairs. Food is ready. Thank you.